Donovan, let's hear some comments, and that's
It's so funny because on TikTok someone said you guys should run for a Senate position to get rid of those loopholes. Don't expect anyone in office to do that. So that's crazy that we kind of talked about that today, and someone kind of
what video was that on?
You were talking about learning the game, and we kind of talked about that today, like knowing the system. So that's kind of crazy. But as far as TikTok, like today, I want to talk about 2 different comments, and it was about constructive criticism.
I love
your favorite, exactly your favorite thing. Got 2 different comments. Someone said, if they don't like the delivery, then that means they're getting their feelings hurt over words, pretty much.
Right.
And they need to man up. And then someone else said,
I told that to one of our closing attorneys. I said, man up.
Yeah, you did.
They got that.
Literally.
And then someone
word
said, some people say that they're direct, but they're just assholes. And there's a way to be direct and kind. So, Ben, do you agree? How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like you can be direct and kind, or do you feel like
you can
have to be direct?
You can, but not everyone's going to take it as kindness.
Genius.
There's 2 different people in a conversation, right? There's the person speaking, and then there's the person listening. And they're both going to have different. I mean, both have different backgrounds, going to have different takes. And you could be speaking with one person who does take it as kindness because that's how and there's another person who doesn't, and it could just be from a difference of their own opinion. So I feel like I'm kind of avoiding the question, but there's not really a good answer. I mean, what do you?
So I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're getting constructive criticism,
right,
it's not kind.
Right.
Constructive criticism is not meant to be kind. It's meant to improve you.
It's meant to be constructive.
Right. And to improve you, I have to tell you the truth.
Right.
And sometimes telling you, like, hey, your breath stinks, or get a haircut, or put on deodorant, or show up to work on time, live up to your potential, don't be lazy. Like, those aren't kind words.
Right.
But you're saying it for a kind reason. And if your feelings are getting hurt because I told you you're lazy, or you stink, or your body odor's bad, or that's all stuff that I'm doing to help improve you from a constructive criticism standpoint.
Right.
And I'm not talking to you directly or you, Donovan.
No,
directly.
you're just
I'm
saying
giving examples.
Someone may take it
you guys
constructively and say, thank you for
great.
letting me know that. Someone may take it as saying,
well,
that's what I'm saying. It depends on the person.
So what I think is, if you always want to be kind, you're the asshole. Here's why. If you cannot deliver the tough feedback and you're trying to always be kind, you're hiding what you're really thinking. And if I don't really know who you are, you're an asshole. You're the one who's a jerk. You're the one who's not real with people. You're the one who's not straightforward. You're the one who's not helping improve things. The problem is there's too many people without a backbone who are afraid to look like they are mean or mean-spirited, or afraid to give the criticism, or afraid to stand up for what they believe in, or afraid to help. And I think you're a bad friend too. If you see something that I am doing and you're like, you need to change this because this is, just a little bit of feedback for you, this isn't good, but you don't say it, you're a bad friend. You're not a true friend. I think a true friend is the one who is, hey man, hey dummy, stop doing this. They're not saying it. It might come off as mean, but you're a worse person. You're the jerk if you don't bring that to somebody's attention and try to help them change. Everybody wants to save the world, but you don't want to save your neighbor. You don't want to save your friend. You don't want to save your coworker. You don't want to help somebody improve within their career.
But what I think the comment is kind of getting more at is in terms of the delivery of that. Because yes, I mean, the message being direct, I think they would agree with you of, yes, I mean, that's going to be important. That needs to happen. However, you can have positive delivery and what I'm kind of getting at, and you're going to know a lot more about this than I do, because I know you read a lot and you've been reading leadership's books and things like that.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm just kidding. It's great to read.
Right. But in terms of people take feedback differently.
Right.
I agree. There was like a comment that I read a while ago, and it was like, worry about being respected, not worry about being liked. Because if you worry about being liked, that's where they manipulate you.
100%.
Yes.
So yeah.
Listen, I ran a trucking company. I can tell you that firsthand. And it's hard running a business. I mean, we've talked about this before when we were talking about Better, was it not Better.com? The guy the board member didn't agree with him.
Loan Depot?
Loan Depot, yeah. it's tough to be at the top. So they obviously, the board didn't respect the guy who founded Loan Depot,
Right.
or else they wouldn't have done what they done. But like at the end of the day, like I really like Donovan, but I need Donovan to respect me as the business owner because I know what the business needs and I have the long-term vision, right?
Right.
And there's always going to be a learning and a grace period with everybody. New loan officers, Donovan, when we bring more people in for your team, which we've actually talked about.
Yeah.
Me and you working together as business partners. Now, with that being said, I also think that sometimes you can be kind and somebody's not changing, so you need to cuss their ass out. I'm being serious. And then or you need to put your arm around them and tell them how great of a job they're doing because that's how they're going to take the feedback better.
Right.
Like different people take different feedback differently.
I see it in sports a lot.
Yes.
Coaches.
Coaches
they
know
push
their
you.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't treat every player on the football team the same, right?
You can't. People take things differently.
They take things differently. Same thing in the military, man. Like, think about the military. The military is a massive team, and they have to do very well together, especially like special forces, like Marine, like all of it, right? What do? Marines go to Parris Island, and they get their asses kicked for, 6 weeks? I forget how long basic is, but for a long time. And cussed out, have to yell, be up at certain times, lack of sleep, this, that, and the other thing. They're not doing that because they hate you or they're trying to be mean. They're doing that to teach you discipline so that when you learn the discipline, you can survive in times of war.
Right.
Right? So, and Donovan, I actually want to spin this question to you. So, I've given you constructive criticism. We've sat at this desk right here, upset with each other before. It was pretty direct, but you also were very direct back. Have things changed?
Absolutely.
And was it bad? Give me your thoughts on like that type of criticism, right? Like that's constructive criticism so that we can grow and get better.
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, I kind of like when you sit back and reflect on criticism, you realize that people actually want the best for you.
Correct.
And they want you to kind of reach your potential.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it to like waste my breath. You're like saying it to say, you can do this. I know you can do this. This is what we hired you for. So get to it. Maybe I didn't like the words at the time, but it was still necessary because if you were like, okay, it's okay, it's okay. I would never push myself because I wouldn't feel like I needed to.
And I also might not have delivered it.
Right. But sometimes you have to kind of like light a fire under someone's feet.
Right.
To just kind of get them to move.
That's what I'm good at.
So
I'm good at heat making the seat hot. The number one way I push people is I will make their seat very hot, but I'm not. If I don't make your seat hot, it means I probably don't believe in you. Does that make sense? There's been people who have left this building that never did anything for us. There's one of our first loan officers that we hired. We won't use his name, but you know who I'm talking about, was a college football player.
Yep.
He did nothing. Did I ever make his seat hot?
No.
Because I didn't believe in him. I didn't think he had the work ethic. Then there's been other people where I made the seat hot, their feelings got hurt and they quit, where I wish they wouldn't have had their feelings hurt and quit because I believed in them. And I sometimes wonder what they're doing now because it was a bad decision for them to leave here if this is the type of business they want to be in. Now, I also recognize this. Sometimes I don't communicate what is needed clearly enough for people to understand. So I always go back and reflect on that as a leader. And hopefully everybody here respects me. But if you don't, like, just do your job. I want you to respect me. But I want there to be an understanding of we have a relationship here and we're all on a team and we're all building, and when one member of the team doesn't do what they need to do, it hurts the rest. Like when the feedback that you gave us is we weren't making enough content for you to grow the channel. So we've actively worked on making more content, and slower than we want because we're busy and stuff. But he has 7 videos up now. We do this podcast weekly. We do, we have those folders now that people, now that we have the equipment that's needed for you to do the personals, that we're going to be able to start doing personal stuff. So there's also, feedback's a two-way street. It's why I yell at you all the time because you don't say anything. You're very quiet. I'm like, just tell me. What do you need from me? No, I don't know how the comment was meant, but I think that if you don't provide the constructive criticism, the feedback, you're a jerk. Or you don't believe in me, or you don't want to make people better. And I think that if we did more constructive criticism and we learned how to communicate with each other and to be able to take it back and still coexist in the same community, because the business is a community, you have a shot at greatness. Nobody builds a massive business or a massive great community or without other people. We need each other. Like, I don't care what anyone says. And you know, we're doing this with each other, and it's something special, whether it's a business or no matter what it is we're working on. There's no such thing as self-made. So the constructive criticism has to happen in any relationship, whether it's a marriage, a friendship, a business arrangement, an employee-boss relationship, building a business together, which we're at the level of we're building a business together. So.
Right.